Hi, my name is Olivia Kelly and I'm in my first year of studying fashion marketing at Leeds Beckett University, and in today's video I'll be explaining my buying behaviour. In particular, I'll be focusing on where I've experienced each of the three different buying situations, whilst explaining how these purchases follow the fundamental principles of marketing. The three key buying situations are routine problem solving, limited problem solving, and extended problem solving. My regular purchase of bottled water from the university shop is an example of routine problem solving. Purchases such as these are habitual, inexpensive, low risk, and therefore require short decision-making processes. The short decision-making process in this particular instance could be due to the fact that water falls under the most basic level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, physiological needs. Physiological needs are primitive and biological, and therefore practically innate, thus requiring little to no thought. Although the thought process may be rapid, it's still highly likely that I subconsciously used the buyer-to-consumer decision-making process proposed by Gosnay and Richardson. In summary, this means I firstly recognised a problem, which was thirst. Secondly, searched for information, such as information about accessibility, availability, time consumption and cost. Thirdly, evaluated the alternatives, such as other local suppliers of water, and ultimately came to the decision to buy from the university shop. Finally, my feedback on this purchase is that I was satisfied with the purchase because it was not only the least time-consuming option based on its location, but it was probably the most cost-effective option, as I know the university strives to keep prices low. According to the consumer involvement theory proposed by Rosenbaum-Elliot, Percy and Pervan, my purchase has both low rational and low emotional involvement. This is because it was inexpensive, it is a frequent purchase, it has little to no symbolic meaning, effect on my social visibility, potential harm or technical complexity, and it isn't a time-consuming process. My purchase of a red leather jacket from ASOS is an example of a limited problem-solving situation. This is because it's a less frequent purchase, but it still requires a more deliberate decision process. This purchase was moderately expensive, however still only presented limited risk. Due to the increasing price for this purchase, there was a more conscious and more deliberate use of the business-to-consumer decision-making process. My process can be broken down as problem recognition, I need a new jacket. Information search, what different jackets are out there. Evaluation of alternatives, looking at different prices, costs and qualities, and actually asking myself, do I actually need a new jacket? On collating all the evidence, I felt comfortable that a logical purchase was made. Post-purchase, I am extremely satisfied, and from this positive experience, I would most likely purchase from ASOS again. Throughout this process, because it's a fashion purchase, I will also take into account the internal factor of perception, so the way I wish to perceive myself and the way I wish other people to perceive me. My purchase can also be explained through Roger's theory of diffusion of innovation, and also through cognitive dissonance. Previously, as a fashion-loving teen, I strived to be an innovator or an early adopter of trends. This is because I like new fashion ideas, striving to be different, and was willing to take financial risks. Since becoming a student, however, with a tight budget, I've had to re-evaluate my aspirations and minimise my perceived importance of being on trend, therefore causing inner conflict. This is also known as cognitive dissonance. I would now consider myself to be part of the early majority, because I now wait to see if a trend has longevity before spending. However, as a fashion marketing student, I can't risk being left behind. The self-concept approach is another theory that has relevance as to why I ultimately purchased the jacket. This theory suggests that people buy goods and services for the brand they represent, and its relation to the buyer's perception of their own self-concept and personality. In this case, I choose purchase from ASOS because they are always very on trend. Not only are they very innovative with their styling, they also have lots of classic pieces in stock and never play into fads. Celebrity endorsement is another marketing technique that I feel influenced my purchase, as I follow many fashion bloggers online, many of whom ASOS enlist to promote their products. As a fashion blogger, it's very important to be constantly on trend, and therefore I aspire to their individual style, and I'm more likely to purchase a product if I feel it has their seal of approval. Opting for Leeds Beckett University is a perfect example of extended problem solving, as choosing a uni is obviously an infrequent purchase with a long-term commitment. It is a very serious investment of time, money and effort, and therefore I took a very systematic and conscious approach to the decision-making process. This was to limit the high risk of this investment. This decision had both high emotional and high rational involvement. This was due to the high price, the level of time commitment, the risk of potential harm, and the potential damage that could happen to my social visibility. In short, once again, I recognised a problem. I needed to go to university. I performed an information search. I did research into courses and student satisfaction rates around the country. I was also swayed by the external influence of an aspirant group. I evaluated the alternatives. I did this by looking at all the different fashion marketing courses around the country, and I also looked into apprenticeships. Once I had all the necessary information, I made the final decision to attend Leeds Beckett University. And finally, my post-purchase conclusion is that I'm extremely happy that I did.